I cannot tell you how many times when I say that I'm a heartbreak coach that people automatically think that I help only females. Literally every single person is like, oh yeah, you must work with women only. And I'm like, no, actually, I don't. I work with mainly men. And I don't think anyone unless a man's been truly cut deep by the pain of a heartbreak, they will ever understand why a man would come and actually seek that help. But when a man goes through the pain of a heartbreak, it's quite possibly the worst thing that he could ever experience, because the pain cuts so deep. This way before, you feel like you've lost the one, and you can't, because you're not emotionally driven, you can't actually understand why you feel the way that you do and why it feels so heavy. And that's why there's a lot more, I think, male suicide rates, because you can't process the pain. And then the only way that you're told to get over this is to, move on, get under someone else, or go to the gym, distract yourself with work. Like all of these things that are great distractions, but actually don't even touch the surface of the pain. And so you get so embarrassed for the fact that you're overthinking everything. You get so embarrassed that you're looking back on messages, and you're ashamed that you're checking up on her on social media, and all of these things that would be so standard for a woman. But as a man, you're like, what the hell is going on? Why am I being this way? And you actually, because it feels so heavy, you actually feel like you're never ever going to get out of this again. And you feel like this is the way that you're going to be. And it feels so heavy that you can't see a way out. And so when a man reaches out to me, I know that they're at the depths, they're at their lowest of their low, because they're ashamed that they can't actually just figure this out by themselves. And I work with so many CEOs, professionals, doctors, engineers, the high level execs, where they are so intelligent and so on the ball with everything else in their life, yet the one person that leaves their life literally tears them apart. They think maybe it's best that I'm not here anymore, or nobody around them understands, because men don't talk about these things around other men. And so when you're at your lowest of your lows, you feel like a lost cause, and you feel like everyone else seems to just be able to get over it and move on. Maybe their friends have been through a relationship breakup, or their friends have been through a divorce and they seem to handle it fine. So why am I dying inside? Why does this feel like I'm never going to be able to get over this? But men, trust me, I see it time and time again. I've worked with hundreds of men who feel exactly the same way, who just need the right tools to overcome this. You've got to remember, you're not emotional by nature, and women are. So as women, we do speak about it with our friends, and we can handle, we might not be able to handle our emotions to the depth of a breakup, but we can a little bit more and understand it a little bit more, because we feel so heavy all of the time. You're very logical by nature, so logic isn't working for you throughout this. And so it just feels like you're literally at your lowest of your lows. And because this feels so heavy for you, you automatically think you've lost the one. And then you spiral, and then you start to blame yourself. The self-blame that a man does way exceeds a woman. So a woman's always looking for, yes, okay, what they could have done differently, but a lot of the time it is around, if only they had done this, or if only I had shown up in this way. But as a man, it's constantly, you don't even look towards the other person of what they could have done. You always look within and blame yourself. And so you're striving, so you're going, right, and you spiral into this. If only I hadn't done X, Y, and Z, maybe we would still be together. I'm never going to find somebody that makes me feel this way again. You fixate and you put them on a pedestal so high after a breakup that maybe you didn't appreciate them as much in the relationship, but when you feel this heavy at a loss and you're grieving, you think that this is the best person that you've ever met, and that you're never ever going to find somebody better than them, even if there were some huge red flags throughout that relationship. And so it's all about, you have to process the relationship so that you can reduce them from this pedestal that you've put them on, and start to get to a place of logic. When your emotions are running high, logic isn't outweighing it. So you have to get to a place of clarity by processing the entire relationship, the good, the bad, the ugly. Now I need to start to get to a place where you're no longer emotionally driven and you can rebuild yourself. What yes, you had your role to play in this relationship breakdown, because we all do, you know, that's just how we are. But you have to get to a place where you can go, right, okay, but I did bring X, Y, and Z to the relationship. And I wasn't appreciated for this, this, and this. But what I am going to do is show up differently for my future self. But you do really need the tools to process your emotions. Please don't bury them. If you bury your emotions as a man and you bury this pain, I promise you now, when you go back out into the relationship world, more so than a woman, you're going to be so guarded. You're going to have this fear of abandonment, fear of rejection. And so you just hold everything in and you don't actually let anyone else in through fear of being hurt, because your worst nightmare is to ever get back to this pain that you're in right now. If you don't process this the right way, you're not going to attract the right relationship, because you're not going to show up in the way that you want to show up. You have to go through the process of it. And it's not about getting under someone to get over someone. It's not about just rushing out and just moving on and getting into another place of dating, because it doesn't work. When you're in this much pain and you feel like you've lost the one, the worst thing you can do is then go out and date someone else, because you're in this comparison mode. And then when you're in this comparison mode, you're going to feel like even more so that nobody even matches or comes close, and nobody ever makes you feel the way that she made you feel. You have to get through this in the right way, okay? And like, going to the gym is great. Don't get me wrong. I love it. It's a way for you to switch off. But some people that I've worked with can't even get to the gym. They can't even go to their safe space because it feels that heavy. You just want to hide away. So if you're in this place of wanting to hide away, one, reach out to me, because I offer free audit calls and we can get you to a place where you can map out those first steps of being able to move past this the right way. The other thing is that you need to give yourself space to process your emotions, process the thoughts that are going over in your head, so that you can show up to work differently. My biggest thing that I say with all clients is get your morning routine right and get your evening routine right. This would be first step. So in the morning, you're waking up and the first thing you think about is her. It feels so heavy. You just think, I just want to not be able to have to show up and get to work, right? So in that moment, do something for yourself. For me, I always go to the gym first thing in the morning, sorts my head out, and then I journal and do the things that I'm grateful for. So if you can get up and raise your endorphins, then go and do that, okay? Could be even go for a walk, whatever it is. Then you're going to work and you're distracted at work, okay? Fine, you might not be showing up as the way that you want to right now, but that's okay. You're going through one of the hardest things that you can ever go through in your life. Then it's after work that happens for my clients, is where they just don't want to be alone. The thought of going home on their own and being with their thoughts and mind and the overthinking and the spiraling literally sends them under. So you have to not then go and completely just keep distract, keeping yourself busy. What can I do? You're going to have to at some point face the fact that you are going to have to be alone, and you're waiting for time to do its job. Time doesn't do its job. So at that point, make sure you have a really nice evening routine that's actually going to allow you to, yes, okay, distract yourself a little bit, but also process your emotions. You need to be writing them down. Okay, and if you've never journaled before, it can feel very, very strange. You're like, what difference is this going to make? It makes the world of difference in able to clarify what's going on. You look at yourself and you go, as you're writing, you're like, why? Why am I thinking this way? Why am I feeling this way? And you get to a place of logic. That allows you, if you do that just before you're about to go to sleep, that allows you to then sleep better, because you're not got these racing thoughts round and round in your mind. If you sleep better, you're going to wake up feeling a little bit better. You're going to then, it's all a spiral effect. So that's what I'd always start with. Get your morning and evening routine right. And then if you feel very stuck, obviously reach out to me and we can, like I say, jump on that free call. Men, it is okay. What my biggest message to you is, it's okay to feel this way. You are going through the hardest thing that you have ever gone through. And I hope that you never have to go through it again. But when you've lost someone so significant in your life, you have to grieve it. And it doesn't make you weak. It doesn't mean that you're abnormal for not being able to manage it the same way maybe that your friends have. But it's only because you guys don't talk about it. So when you have that person that you can talk about it through with, and maybe you have that female perspective, everything starts to feel a lot easier and a lot lighter. And you feel like, thank God, I'm not alone in this.